The history and origin of Judaism. Judaism is a monotheistic religion dating back to 2000 BCE, which originated in the region of Canaan. It came about through the beliefs and practices of the Israelites, who traced their heritage back to Abraham. Abraham was one of the patriarchs of the Jewish faith who made a covenant with God. In the covenant, God chose the Jewish people as a sacred people, and he gave them Holy Land in Canaan. God guided the Jewish people through many hardships and gave them the Ten Commandments, which are a set of rules that Jews must adhere to. Judaism became a structured religion that was centered around their temple in Jerusalem. Jewish worship was carried out in the temple, which held the Ark of the Covenant. The Ark of the Covenant was a gold chest which held the two stone temples with the Ten Commandments written on them. Around 920 BCE, the Jewish kingdom fell apart, and the temple was destroyed along with the leadership of the Jews killed. This started the diaspora of Jews, with many going into exile in Babylon. The Jewish tradition of the diaspora is living away from Israel. Over time, Jews moved around and the tradition evolved. Jews tried to rebuild their empire numerous times. They revolted against their Syrian king. There was a Syrian king ruling them, and restored the temple in 164 BCE. This event is celebrated during the Jewish holiday of Hanukkah. Rabbinic Judaism is the movement in the first few hundred years of the Common Era that was pushed by Jewish rabbis, which are like priests. Emphasized strict laws surrounding all facets of life. The Jews suffered much conflict at the beginning of the 11th century. They suffered attacks from the Crusades and persecution in Europe. This period of Jews living in diaspora and being persecuted lasted until the end of World War II. During World War II, the Jews suffered extreme persecution and genocide under the Nazi regime. Millions of Jews were killed during this period, known as the Holocaust. After World War II, the Jewish state was established in Palestine. This country is Israel and is made up predominantly of Jews, and it is their home. There is heavy tension between them and their predominantly Muslim neighboring countries. Judaism has evolved over time to have a number of branches that differ in their interpretations of the Bible, including Reconstructionists, Orthodox, Conservative, and Reformist Jews. Judaism today is made up of 14 million Jews all over the world. They practice their faith in synagogues, which are Jewish places of worship. Judaism is one of the major world religions today and has a history rich with tradition and conflict. Key beliefs of Judaism. Judaism is a monotheistic religion, meaning that they believe in one God known as Yahweh, which they share with Christianity and Islam. This God created the universe, but also has a personal relationship with all Jews. Jews have a covenant with God, meaning He does good for them. In exchange, they follow His laws and are holy. Every Jewish boy is circumcised at birth, based on Abraham's covenant with God. The Jewish book of faith is the Bible, known as the Tanakh, which is an acronym for the text of the Torah, prophets, and the writings. They use the Talmud and the Midrash to interpret the Bible. The Ten Commandments are given to them by God and are their moral code and also act as the basis of their legal code. They have 13 articles of faith, which are the closest thing they have to a creed. It was written by a Jewish monk in the 13th century and outlines what Jews are supposed to believe. There is limited information regarding the afterlife, as compared to the other Abrahamic religions. They have a number of holidays and feast days throughout the year, the best known of which are Hanukkah and Yom Kippur.
Key figures. As Christianity was a sect of Judaism, there are many characters from the Bible that are important to the Jewish faith. The Jewish people recognize Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob equally, if not more important than we as Catholics do. They believe that Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob are the three patriarchs of Judaism. Moses is an important figure because he led the Israelites out of slavery so that they could be free and worship freely. They are also fond of the three main prophets, Ezekiel, Jeremiah, and Isaiah. There are many prophets, but these three stand out the most to the Jews. Samuel is another prophet. He is known for being called by God as a child. Three Jewish kings are also important figures in Jewish history. These kings are Kings Saul, Solomon, and David. Saul was the first king of the Jews. David was Saul's successor. David was a great warrior and is credited for composing many of the Psalms in the Book of Psalms. Solomon is the son of David and is most credited with building the first temple. After Solomon, the kingdom of Israel fell apart and formed into two kingdoms, the kingdom of Israel and the kingdom of Judah, so they created the 12 judges. The 12 judges were individuals who were leaders who presided over legal hearings. They were the law of the land for Judaism during this time. You can read about some of the stories in the book of Judges in the Bible.
The past of Judaism constitutes of the multiple exiles and final realization that their Lord Jesus Christ was the one and only. The Assyrians conquered the northern kingdom of Israel around 721 BCE. King Sargon II exiled Israelite tribes and brought in foreigners to ultimately fill their positions. Babylonians destroyed Jerusalem and Solomon's temple and sent most of its population to Babylon, thus being the Babylonian captivity. Judaism did not die out as a religion, however. The Jews united around their sacred writings, and the Torah took the place of Solomon's temple. Antiochus IV, Epiphanes of the Seleucids, around the time of the Hellenistic era, attempted to get rid of Jewish tradition and Judaism itself. Later on, Pompey the Great of the Roman Republic conquered Jerusalem, which ultimately removed Jewish independence. With anti-Semitism came immigration from diasporic communities to places of opportunity like the United States. The readings of the everyday life of the Jews brought a tremendous growth and following to the religion. The synagogue is the Jewish place of worship, also used as a place to study and often as a community center as well. The synagogue was developed around the exile in Babylon and has ornamental architecture like the Star of David. Before its destruction, Solomon's temple was seen as an amazing architectural feat, as it served many uses such as wood storage and keeping temple records. It has been more of a diaspora for the people of Judaism, to where they just adopt the architecture of the particular region, like the Moorish art involving tile work. In ancient times, you had Bezalel being told by God to make the tabernacle. Of the holy cities, Jerusalem is the holiest place of Judaism. It is a spiritual center. It has been destroyed twice and attacked many more. Here, the holy sites of the Western Wall, where Jews are permitted to pray, and Temple Mount, where creation is known to have started, are located. Hebron is the second holiest city, although it was the first Jewish capital before Jerusalem. Here, Jewish patriarchs and matriarchs are buried.
Continuity and change over time. Judaism is still a major world religion today. As of 2014, there are an estimated 14.2 million Jewish people in the world. Before World War II, there were about 16 million Jews. There are about 6 million Jews who became victims of the Holocaust, so their numbers are slowly rising. There are about 6,300,000 Jews living in Israel, where they make up the majority of the population. The second largest population of Jews is in the United States with 500,000 people. The State of Israel was created in 1948 and was created as a homeland for the Jewish people. Today there are 4 different branches of Judaism. These 4 branches are Reform Jews, Orthodox Jews, Conservative Jews, and Reconstructionalist Jews. Reform Judaism emphasizes the evolving nature of religion, ethics, and a belief in a continuous revelation. Orthodox Judaism strictly follows the 13 principles of Judaism. Conservative Judaism follows Jewish religious law as both binding and subject to historical development. Reconstructionalist Judaism views Judaism as progressively evolving civilization.
SHABBAT, SHALOM. At the beginning of time, the Lord worked all day. He toiled 6 in a row, and that was his way. But then on the 7th day, all work ceased. The Lord took a rest, and all would be at peace. This day of rest, the Lord called Shabbat. A covenant was made, and it meant a lot between the Lord and the Jews way in the past. Let the Sabbath begin with a shofar blast. Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom. Whether in your temple or just at home. Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom. Give thanks for the blessings of Adon alone. SHABBAT, SHALOM. SHABBAT, SHALOM. Shabbat shalom, I better yet good Shabbos. Shabbat shalom, I better yet good Shabbos. Exodus and Deuteronomy is where it's found. So core and more commandments abound. Remember and observe each Sabbath day in the 10 Commandments, the only holiday from slaves to freedom. We can't forget, observing this day the Sabbath bride is met. 2 candles are lit and their light drawn in. With warmth and joy let the Sabbath begin.
Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, whether in your temple or just at home. Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, give thanks for the blessings of Adon alone. S-H-A-B-B-A-T, S-H-A-L-O-M, S-H-A-B-B-A-T, S-H-A-L-O-M.
Shabbat shalom, my better yet, good Shabbos. Shabbat shalom, my better yet, good Shabbos. As a day of rest, no works allowed. To keep the Sabbath holy, the Jews have vowed. Havdalah is the prayer that ends the rest. It means separation and all are blessed. Spices are used till the souls are uplifted. Longing for the Sabbath, almonds feel gifted. The new week comes that we must get through. If the Lord can take a break, then we can too.
Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, whether in your temple or just at home. Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, give thanks for the blessings of Adon alone. S-H-A-B-B-A-T, S-H-A-L-O-M, S-H-A-B-B-A-T, S-H-A-L-O-M.
Shabbat shalom, my better yet, good Shabbos. Shabbat shalom, my better yet, good Shabbos. It was Friday night and I was feeling cool as my family and I went to our shul. My rabbi was there in the cantor too, and it felt really good to be a Jew. We sang and we prayed and we read out loud. The Shema as one voice came from the crowd. Sabbath candles lit, wine and bread to share, and an uneg with goodies beyond compare.
Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, whether in your temple or just at home. Shabbat shalom, Shabbat shalom, give thanks for the blessings of Adon alone. S-H-A-B-B-A-T, S-H-A-L-O-M, S-H-A-B-B-A-T, S-H-A-L-O-M.
When I say Shabbat, you say Shalom. Shabbat,
Shalom,
Shabbat.
shalom.
When I say Shabbat,